science of electronics has quickly changed the life of people. Different electronic devices such as televisions, radios, CD players, and other equipments have revolutionized the world of communications and entertainment.
Computers and robots makes things simpler. X-ray machines and other electronic equipments help doctors to save the life of the other people. Navigation in air, land, sea, and space travel were dependent on radio, radars, computers. And modern weapon systems are highly influenced by electronics.
Have you ever wondered how this turns to this? No, not that one. I mean, this turns to this.
But how do these electronic devices emerge? When do these devices have been created?
Who are the persons involved?
Our audiovisual presentation focuses on the people who contributed their ideas to the development of electronics. So guys, I advise you to wear your seatbelt because we are driving back into history.
In 600 BC, Thales of Miletus, a Greek philosopher, rubs together lodestone, which is a natural magnet occurring from mineral magnetite, and amber, a fossilized tree resin, and he finds they attract. He noted that such rough amber could attract light objects, such as hair, and if rubbed strongly for a long time, they can even produce spark.
In 1600 AD, the word electric and electricity were born. Scientist named William Gilbert coins a new Latin word electricus from the Greek word for hour, electricus, which later gives birth to the two new English words electric and electricity.
1660, Otto von Maica, a German scientist who made the first electrostatic machine made from a sulfur bomb, which makes static electricity by applying friction.
Robert Boyle, 1675. The possibility of electric action in vacuum. He discovered that electric attraction and repulsion can take place in a vacuum. Robert Boyle is also the father of modern chemistry. He is also known for the Boyle's law, which states that the absolute pressure exerted by a given mass of an ideal gas is inversely proportional to the volume it occupies, if the temperature and amount of gas remain unchanged within a closed system.
Do you know what is the difference between plastic and metal? In 1729, Stephen Gray classifies materials as conductors and insulators.
In 1733, Charles François Dufay, a French chemist, proposes electricity comes in two varieties. He names these two as the vitreous and resinous electricity, or what we call now as the positive and the negative.
On 1744, the Leyden jar, or so-called the first capacitor, was invented. It was invented by a German scientist, Edward George van Kleist, and two Dutch scientists, Peter von Machenbroek and Camus. The Leyden jar is a device that stores static electricity between two electrodes.
Did you know that in 1750 thunder and lightning were explained? Benjamin Franklin proposes that flow of charges takes place during thunder and lightning.
1785, the Coulomb's law. Charles de Coulomb explains the interaction between electrically charged particles. This interaction is known as electrostatic force. The theory he proposed is later known as the Coulomb's law.
1800s, the year where the voltaic pile, or the first electric battery, was discovered. Alessandro Volta, an Italian physicist who invents the first electric battery known as galvanic pile. Volta discovered the existence of potential difference and change in flow occurs when there is a potential difference. The terminology of potential difference, voltage, and its unit, volts, is coined after his name.
In 1820, electricity meets magnetism. A Danish physicist, Hans Christian Ørsted, finds that the needle of a compass deflects when kept near a charged carrying conductor and hence its foundation of electromagnetism. And Oersted, as the unit of magnetic field strength, is named after him.
In 1827, the resistance had arrived. George Simon Ohm states that the material has a certain resistance that prevents the flow of current to the normal state.
In 1831, Michael Faraday discovered electromagnetic induction, which is the basic principle behind generators, transformers, and motors. On the other hand, in 1839, Faraday then proposed the law of electrolysis, which formed the basis of batteries. And on the same year, the positive and the negative electricity were born.
1870, the telephone. Alexander Graham Bell is the first patent for the first telephone. Hello?
1979, the electric bulb. Thomas Alva Edison, an American inventor and businessman, invented the most stable, reliable form of electric bulb and patents it in USA.
The popularizing of AL or alternating current by Nikola Tesla in USA, 1880 to 1943. Nikola Tesla, a Serbian-American inventor who initially was an employee of Thomas Edison, worked intensively on developing alternating current or AC, which is much cheaper to produce and to transmit compared to DC.
In 1887, radio wave arrived in our world. Henry Hertz, a German physicist, generated electromagnetic wave in his laboratory. He also proposed methods to transmit and receive electromagnetic waves.
In 1897, the first form of radio is ready. The Italian physicist Guglielmo invents the first form of radio and gets patent for the same. He also used the antenna for transmission.
In 1904, the invention of vacuum tube and the beginning of rectification. When AC got popularized and many AC were available, scientists began to think about converting AC to DC, rather than generating DC, which is expensive. And here comes the vacuum tube for converting AC to DC.
Researchers John Faraday and William Ronnel discovers that when two gold coin contacts were applied to a germanium crystal, a signal was produced with the output greater than 90.
Another researcher at St. Ben Laboratory, William Shara, identifies the potential of this discovery, and together they invent the first bipolar transistor.
In 1958, Jack Kilby makes the first integrated circuit. While working in Texas, Instruments had a crazy idea to wire together transistors, resistors, and capacitors on the motherboard to a single wafer as a chip and hence born the first integrated circuit.
1965, the Moore's Law. Gordon Moore, who later co-founded Intel, comes up with a paper which states that the number that transistor used on a single chip of silicon will grow exponentially.
Alter 8800 made by using Intel 8080 processor. Alter 8800 was made by an American electronics company, MIT.
1971, Intel invents the first microprocessor, named as 404, which has 2,300 transistors in a single chip. Credit to this invention is Ted Huff, who proposed the idea of coming up with a universal processor.
In 1976 to 1978, the first 16-bit microprocessor from Intel and the first microcontroller. Intel launches world's first 16-bit microprocessor named 8086. The world was revolving around the 8-bit processor till then. Intel introduces its first microcontroller as Intel 8048 with a RAM and ROM added along with processor on a single chip.
From 1980s to 2012, it is the period of technology of revolution. From the introduction of microcontrollers, personal computers and software, countless developments and advancements have happened all across the world in various industries.
We must say it was even beyond imagination of science fiction authors. Listing technological developments from 1980 to 2012 is beyond the scope of infographic.